Hello, Pastor Paula here, a board member of Yes We Can Peacebuilders of Morro Bay. Peacebuilders is affiliated with Pachi Benny and Campaign Nonviolence. Peacebuilders focus on education and building awareness of violence within our communities so that we may adopt nonviolent ways of living together. Continuing our series on nonviolence for International Peace Week 2020, I want to talk about broken systems. It's interesting to me that when we think of violence, we typically think of physical fighting between partners, neighbors, gangs, or nations. But violence is more than just physical. It can be emotional and spiritual. Violence comes from systems, norms, laws, and customs that are also life-limiting. Systemic racism is one form of violence that has been very prominent in the news. Systemic, or broken life-limiting systems, unfortunately infects many aspects of life in this country. After a recent discussion on race and homelessness and food insecurity, I found myself wrestling with the concept that it's much easier to get community groups and people of faith to help feed the hungry or assist the homeless rather than talk about broken systems, let alone work to change broken systems. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's wonderful that we share from our abundance with those who live in scarcity. I think it's great when we get to know the people in our communities that are typically unseen, letting them know that they are important. So why do these needs persist in a nation of such wealth? So it has occurred to me that our reluctance to talk about race also applies to our reluctance to talk about and seek changes to those systems that have resulted in people living on the streets or finding that they are unable to adequately feed their families, even if they're working 3 jobs. We don't like the idea of talking about the need to change the way we live, the way our society operates, on any level, so that others may live life to the full extent of their abilities. And you have to ask, why is that? Maybe it's because deep down we are afraid that such changes will result in a lower standard of living for ourselves. Plus, we bump up against that Puritan ethic that is so much a part of who we are, the idea that everyone should work hard and in so doing will be rewarded commensurate with their labors. So we forget or ignore those who have mental and physical issues that limit their opportunities. We forget that our educational system is separate and unequal, so not everyone graduates with a high school diploma. We ignore the high costs of medical care and the impact that has on the uninsured. We ignore guidelines and policies resulting in an inability to find work as a person cannot afford the cost of childcare, transportation, or a wardrobe suitable to help them go to work. We forget that some live in communities where job opportunities are scarce, and while some labor hard, they are isolated from the rest of society. They are out of sight and so out of mind. I know we have enough to worry about in this time of pandemic and political turmoil. But maybe, just maybe, this is the ideal time for us to reevaluate what it means when we say we are all created equal. We are one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As peace builders, let us work together so all may know peace. Thank you.